Welcome to Moneyline. This is Matt McCall. Thanks for joining me today for a special post-election show. We're going to wrap up what's going on. We still don't yet have a president. But more importantly, we are going to talk stocks. What stocks look good now? Now that most of the election is over, now that we kind of know it's going to be split no matter what, we will talk stocks, where you should be putting your money, naming names. All coming up right now on Moneyline.
The buck starts here. Moneyline with Matt McCall.
Once again, this is Matt McCall. Thanks for joining me here. It is October 5th, if I'm not mistaken. This week has been November 5th. See, I am wrong. November 5th, 2020. It is Thursday, 2 days after the election, which was on November 3rd, which I should remember the date there. And we still do not know who the next president of the United States will be. We have a very good indication that the House obviously stays with the Dems. The Senate will stay with Republicans, so that's split. And then whoever the president is remains a split government. And the fact that we don't know who it is yet, either Biden or Trump, if you look at the polls, it looks like it's leaning towards Biden. But you know, it depends if Arizona goes Trump's way, there's a great chance Trump could be the president because most likely he gets Georgia, North Carolina. I think he gets Pennsylvania. So then it comes down to really Nevada, Arizona, and really whoever gets those will be the next president of the United States. And it's probably not going to be figured out anytime soon because I think the votes in Nevada and Arizona, in particular Arizona, could take a little while to really figure out who won that state. But again, as of right now, Biden's leading. All the betting markets are pointing towards Biden, but things could change. They've changed a lot. You know, heading into the election, Biden had a huge lead. Then about 8 or 9 o'clock, maybe a little bit later on East Coast on Tuesday night, it flipped to Trump. And then by the time the markets open in the morning, it flipped back to Biden. So nobody knows. These things, this is a fluid situation. And it could go either way. And it's probably going to get ugly, but if you would have asked me if this was a situation, I would have said that we likely would have had a down market. But right now we have the S&P up 2% today, Dow's up another 1.8, NASDAQ tech stocks up 2.5, Russell 2000 small caps up 1.5. If you look at a chart here of the NASDAQ composite, we're at about 11,870 or so, right around there. That puts the NASDAQ not far. Like 1% away from an all-time high. If we look at a chart of the S&P 500, only a couple percentage points from an all-time high. So why are stocks rallying? What people keep saying, why are they up right now? Well, because it looks like we're going to have, again, a split DC. And even though there's this perception that a split government is actually good because less gets done. You can't have one side just push through, whether it be higher taxes, more regulation, or vice versa, whatever it might be. So that's why people typically perceive it. However, if you look at the numbers over the last 95 years or so, when a government is all one side, either all Dems or all Republicans, it's actually up, I think, around 9 and change per year, about 9.1% versus 6 and change, 6.5% or so percent annually when it's split. So it actually is better, which is strange to consider. But I like it being split here right now. I think it's going to keep from, if Biden does win, keep from regulation really taking hold right away because the Senate's going to stop a lot of it. High taxes going up right away because I think the Senate's going to slow things down. Healthcare being completely revamped right away. Again, the Senate's going to slow things down. So when it comes to me, I guess I like less big government, and I'd rather let us, the citizens, kind of figure things out a little more. And when it's split, it is less big government because it's tough to get some things done. That being said, we should have had an infrastructure bill in the last 4 years. We have not. And I really hope we do because we need it. And the crazy part is both sides want it. And we'll talk about infrastructure stocks in a moment, but that's something I think we need and we want. So, it's really kind of suggesting to me more of the same. And before the election, I talked about it didn't matter who won as a president because as far as the stock market is concerned, not as far as everything else, but as far as stock market is concerned, and I'm looking out next 4 years, not next 4 days or 4 weeks or end of the year, the next 4 years, because regardless of who won, we knew spending was going to continue. And I think that's, again, you're seeing the market rally because The market's anticipating, whether it's Biden or Trump, spending will continue, and we will have stimulus. We will most likely have an infrastructure bill. I hope so. And you're going to see money flowing in, and that's good for the economy, and it's good for stocks ultimately. So that's why you're seeing the stock market go up. So, one thing I do want to say, though, is how wrong are the pollsters? Yeah, I mean, if your kid wants to know what job to go into, and if pollster even still exists in 4 years, 8 years from now, that's a hell of a job, because how can you be so wrong and get paid so much money by all these corporations and by all these different organizations to predict it so who's going to win the election so they can base their business on it, and be so damn wrong? It's unbelievable. At 538 website, Nate Silver, it appears to be one of the smarter people out there. His company is just garbage. They're just wrong. And it's amazing to me that that'd be like me picking the incorrect stocks for the last 8 years. How the hell is that possible? It's unbelievable. I guess there are some people in my industry that have been wrong for 8 years, even longer, that's still around. So I guess it's every industry, but man, oh man, nobody's going to trust the polls ever again. So they're done, and I'm glad for it. It showed Biden up 10 points before this started. I mean, come on. Everybody's predicting a blue wave. Come on, man. I'd use the Biden line right there. But just before we wrap up this post-election, before we get into the stocks and the fun stuff, it does show truly that our country is divided right down the middle. It also shows that our country is not ready for this crazy, very radical left, which is good. I'm not for radical right or radical left. I think staying in the middle is probably the best thing for our country, honestly. All that being said, let's go back to stimulus here for a moment. Mitch McConnell got reelected, and if it is Biden, I think he'll work a little bit better with Biden. As far as two opposite parties working together, I think that they'll actually be able to get a stimulus by the end of the year. He mentioned he wants one. If Trump's president, he'll obviously, I think, try to push one through too. But the fact that McConnell said he wants one before the end of the year, granted, I know if Biden wins, doesn't come into office till January. But I think we will see some type of stimulus in the next couple of months, and that will be very good for stocks and for the market as well. So how did the market react? Well, obviously, we knew we were up the last 2 days. Healthcare, the healthcare stocks were the biggest winners yesterday. We had the healthcare ETF really rocking up over 4%. We now have it up not as much today, but it is hitting an all-time high today, the XLV, which is the Spider's healthcare ETF. If you take a look, obviously biotech is where I really like it. Biotech rallied to a new all-time yesterday, down 1% today, taking some profit there. Not a big surprise with taking some profit. You're seeing some money come in some other areas that kind of lagged yesterday, which I'll talk about in a moment. But overall, still love biotech, still love healthcare, precision medicine, genetics, you name it. Some of these genetic stocks had real good days yesterday. CRISPR was up big, up again today. INTELLIA, NTLA is rallying today to a new one-year high, best level since middle of 2018, so actually a two-year high. So we're seeing some nice moves in the healthcare stocks, and I think that continues. I really think healthcare looks good here. And could that be because we think that the ACA won't be expanded more? Could be, because United Health was up huge yesterday, up over 10% to a new all-time high, and that could be good news there for some of these healthcare plans. Big tech also up huge, and that's why we've seen the NASDAQ really rally. Apple, Facebook, Facebook had a hell of a day yesterday. Facebook was up 8%, another 2.5% today. We had Apple, obviously the biggest company out there, up another 3.6% today. So we're seeing these big tech stocks, and this could be the fact that there's less regulation going forward, and kind of let them keep doing what they're doing. And we're also seeing a rotation that was continuing, really went on for the last 4 years, but stopped for a hot minute, was money coming into growth. You saw it kind of go into value plays kind of before the election, going right back into growth, and that's what we're seeing. And as you know, I'm a growth investor, so I love seeing this. Also yesterday, you saw the retail consumer discretionary stocks doing well. You're seeing them up again today, so that's one to keep an eye on. Consumer discretionary ETF XLY is closing in at an all-time high. So you're seeing that's stimulus basically to me. What was odd to me, though, yesterday we saw the industrials, some of the infrastructure stocks, clean energy, wind, solar fall. even though the polls are pointing to about an 80% chance Biden ends up winning this, and he's already said he's going to push through a infrastructure / green energy bill upwards of over 2.1 trillion. So it was pretty amazing to me to see those fall, and I like that sector a lot. But then we see it today. The solar ETFs up 8.5%. It's almost like, where the hell was everybody yesterday? They just woke up today to realize what's going on. But some of these stocks are moving. The fact that an ETF is up 8.5% is unbelievable. The wind energy ETF, FAN, I love these names, FAN, that is up 3.8% to the best level in about 12 years. So the wind stocks are moving as well. So you're seeing now money coming back into these clean energy after falling yesterday. You saw big names in the infrastructure sector, such as Caterpillar, get crushed yesterday, up 4% today, still down in over 2 days. But money's starting to come back into that sector. And I think that's why you're seeing some money come out of biotech. You're flowing out of some into something else. You're also seeing gold and silver having nice days today. Again, down yesterday, but the GDX, which is a gold miners ETF, a basket of big gold miners, 5.6% right now, to about a 3-week high. But what's more important, it's breaking its downtrend line, and it's in this little downtrend after hitting a multi-year high. So boy, it looks like it's going to break out here, and a lot of that has to do with the fact the US dollar falling, and you're seeing silver having an even better day. The silver ETF is rocking and rolling. Silver itself is up over 4.5%. That's you're seeing a really nice move there. We have a silver stock for clients at Penn Financial, some of them up over 9% today. So you're seeing a nice little move in silver there. And when I mention silver and gold, it sounds like Christmas time. I also have to mention, cryptos, Bitcoin and altcoins. If you take a look at Bitcoin, man, I went to bed extremely early last night, like extremely, extremely early. But I woke up middle of the night, rolled over to check my Bitcoin, see how the Asian markets were doing. And man, was I happy to see, in the last 24 hours, Bitcoin is up 7.5%, folks. You take a look at what Bitcoin's doing right now. It's at the best level since January of 2018. It continues to keep, oh man, I'm really messed up my computer here. Continues to keep breaking out. It's at 14,893, so right around 14,900, which is, man, oh man, what a nice move we're seeing right now. Again, up 7.5%. We did see it come very close to 15,000, 14,988. About an hour and a half ago. Right now, it's about a little after 10 o'clock East Coast time in the morning. But again, these are levels that we have not seen in a long time. Keep in mind, we were just down right at 10,000 in September. And it's only November, folks. So we're about 50% since then. And I've been telling you, don't say I haven't told you that Bitcoin, you want to be buying on dips. I mean, I own Bitcoin, I own some altcoins, and I always like to look at my little my Coinbase account here. It's not huge, I'll tell you that, but I've been buying a lot, not as much recently, but over the times, anytime Bitcoin came back around 10,000, and now my account's at the best level it's ever been. Just checking because I like to see my money grow. But man, I tell you, gold, silver, Bitcoins, because fiat currency is a dollar falling. And you look at what gold's done in the last 24 hours, Bitcoin's done better. If you look at what gold's done year to date, look what Bitcoin's done better. To me, Bitcoin is still the better play here. And if you look at just year to date, the performance that we've seen in Bitcoin, and you compare it to gold, again, it is the better play for me. I'm not saying you don't own any gold, but I'm saying you want to diversify and don't ignore what's going on with Bitcoin. Year to date, Bitcoin's up about 100%, and gold's have a nice move up 24%, but it's 4x it, 4 times it. I say X, not exit, X, 4x it. So don't ignore that. All right, so just giving an update of kind of what's moving on. Bonds are rallying on the news as well. We saw the yield on a 10-year fall down to about 0.76%. Right now it's about 0.77%. So bonds are rallying at the same time, which is kind of interesting. Money coming into bonds and into stocks. But a big reason for that is there's so much damn money sitting on sidelines. It's just coming into everything. Before I get into my watch list, I'm literally going to do something I normally do. I'm going to talk about stocks that are right here on my watch list, that are right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Hopefully you can. But this is not the full watch list. As you know, the watch list right now is probably about 300 stocks that I keep for myself, for subscribers here at Investor Place, and for my clients at PENN Financial Group. And we split those up into 3 tranches. One we buy. We don't have any stocks that overlap there. So. But I got a bunch here that I want to go through, and I came up with these last night, and I'm going to go through a couple with you here. Not recommendations. I'm not even sure I'm going to buy any of these. I might buy all of them. I'm not sure if I do buy them, where they go. Me, PENN Financial Group, our newsletters. I'm telling you, I'm just sharing my thoughts in my head with me because it's been a long week and I'm tired as hell. So I'm going to kind of do some work with you as we're working this out. Excuse me. Before we get into that, I had this list. You know, a lot of people saying, well, you know, you were wrong because you said sit on your hands until the election came out. Sure, I was wrong. I don't think I was, but that was my strategy. I didn't know if the stocks were going to go up or down. I didn't know. And I still would do the same thing because I'm not a gambler. I play the odds. And the odds are nobody knew what was going to happen. The odds were that the pollsters were completely wrong, which they were. But we didn't know the reaction. You could easily be down 1,000 points in 2 days with a contest not decided. It could go either way, honestly. So me, I don't gamble with my money, my subscribers' money, or my clients' money. I just don't gamble with it because you have no odds. Being successful long-term investor in the stock market, it's a game of it's a marathon, not a sprint. You got to play the long game here. It's not about winning the battle. It's about winning the war. It's about truly putting the odds in your favor. And every little bit that goes in your favor makes you a more successful long-term investor. Betting on a coin toss right now, head or tails, I have no odds. It's a 50-50. I have no odds. That's how I felt with the election. No odds in my favor. And so not in my favor, I'm not doing anything. But we'll have plenty of time to buy if that's your concern. We'll have plenty of time to buy. And if you held, like we have a lot of some money in the market, right? If you held, you're doing great. Our stocks are rocking and rolling. So please, you can't win every little battle. And you didn't lose anything. You sat in the sidelines. And if you were in the market, which I hope you were, I've been telling you to get in the market for a long, long time, you did well. You did really well. Stocks are rocking. So that's where we stand, man. I mean, come on, like you can't expect to get everything, you know. I'm very happy with what happened. I'm very happy with the way the market is. I'm extremely happy with where the market is. And I think there's a lot of great buying opportunities out there right now. And we're going to be doing some buys. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Oh, and real quick, cannabis stocks. They didn't move yesterday. Again, very similar, but they're up huge today. The cannabis ETF MJ is up 6.5%. But what did move yesterday was the U.S.-based stocks. A lot of those did move yesterday, and they're up again today. 5 more states were on the ballot for legalizing marijuana at different levels, recreational, medical. All 5 passed. If Biden wins, we'll probably see it decriminalized very near future, and most likely legal on the federal level before you know it. And so I think you look at U.S. based, even though the Canadian ones are rallying today because they're so damn beaten up, the U.S. based ones are much better values in my opinion. All right, so let's get into this. Another few things that are passed on the ballot is sports gambling. Here, which is now my home state for right now, is Maryland. It passed here, sports gambling. So it doesn't go through right away. They got to figure out how much they're going to tax it, how they're going to roll it out, that type of stuff, who's going to get the licenses. But that's a big move. I love it. I think the sports gambling I've loved for a long time as far as an investment opportunity. I still love it. You saw some of the stocks here move on the news. 4 stocks that came up on my watch list here that came up. And one is PENN National Gaming, which is PENN. I've talked about this one in the past. This rallied up from $3 all the way to $75, pulled all the way back to the low 50s. We're up another 7% today, 64. But, you know, still a long way to go on the upside to me. That is one to keep an eye on. One moving in very similar fashion to that is Caesars Entertainment, which is buying William Hill, which is a stock that we had in our portfolio in the investment opportunities in our newsletter, which you can always go to investorplace.com/moneywire, get all of our free articles, our free videos. You can also find out all of our different newsletter services we have there. So please check that out. Again, investment opportunities, you get multiple portfolios. One is a sports gambling portfolio. We have a 5G portfolio. We have a cannabis portfolio. You name it, we have a healthcare portfolio. All that and 12 issues and real-time buy-sell alerts for $99 a year. I mean, you really can't go wrong. I mean, we're literally giving away, but it's for everybody. That's why we do this. We want to get everyday average American retail investors, and not even just American. I have subscribers all over the damn world. Over 100,000 people right now pay for that service. So join it. You're not joining some little group. Join the movement, because man, oh man, a couple of years ago we had 1,000. Now we're at over 100,000. I mean, we are growing like you wouldn't believe. And the reason we are is because we're giving good information. My team and I constantly doing what I'm doing right here to get you great information. And at the end of the day, helping you become better investors. So Caesars Entertainment's one. And then there's the third one, which again, I've talked about in the past, DraftKings. DraftKings was a SPAC, a special purpose acquisition corp, $10, rallied up to 65 nearly in the first week of October, fell all the way down to 35. And we're back up to 42 right now, about 6.5% today. But again, a long ways to go. And DraftKings, when I look at DraftKings, I'm not going to go over the numbers of every single one. I'll bore the hell out of you. But I will pull up DraftKings numbers here, because to me, they're pretty damn impressive when you look at the potential growth. It's about a 14.9, let's call it $15 billion company. And I still think it could grow bigger. If you look at the revenue for last year, 2019, about $323 million. In the next 4 years, looking to go to almost $2.1 billion. So you're seeing really, really big top line growth. Earnings growth should become profitable in the next few years, but if you consider the growth you're seeing in earnings, it's got about 45% annually in the next 4 years. That's big bottom line growth. Top line growth 35% annually. So you're seeing big growth in this. And as more states legalize gambling, as fantasy sports continues to expand, you're going to have more in sports gambling. A company like this is so well positioned, so I really like it. And so are the other two, because the other two also have exposure to sports gambling as well. This is kind of a random one, but it does fit into a lot of the trends, and if you want to see kind of a COVID stay-at-home play, cases hit 100,000 for the first time ever in the U.S., so continue, please, to stay safe out there. Do what you can to remain safe. But GRUBHUB, they also own Seamless. They order your food to be delivered, and that is a trend that was already moving before this. COVID obviously just accelerated that, but this is a company that you probably consider to be overvalued. It's about a $7.1 billion company, symbol's GRUB, G-R-U-B. But you look at growth. 2019, $1.3 billion in sales, close to 3.5 in 4 years from now. That's about average annual growth revenue, top line 17%. But where you're seeing big growth is the earnings. 75% annual growth expected next couple of years. Should turn profitable in 2022, 2023, depending on how things go. But this is one to keep an eye on, and I think that trend continues. Again, this one has pulled back from a yearly high at 85 all the way down to the low 70s, back to 80 today. But if you look long term, this stock was above 140 in 2018. So even just get back to where it is, it's got a nice 75% move from here just to get back to where it was. So that's one to keep an eye on as well. Another one is VELODYNE LIDAR. Again, this one was a SPAC. Symbol's VLDR. LIDAR. This is the thing that you see on top of the self-driving cars. I love this. I think this is a trend that's going to be huge. This is one of the leaders by far. They had revenue about $100 million or so last year. Looking the next couple of years to go up to $650 million. Should be profitable in 2022. Again, just huge top line, bottom line growth. SPACs trade at $10. Then after it announced the deal, ran up to 32. Pulled all the way back to 12. It's now at 13.40, about 4.5% today. But again, I see an opportunity here on this pullback to get into LIDAR and to get into something really that is the future. If you believe in self-driving cars, and I believe LIDAR will be a big part of that, that is one to keep an eye on. Another one out there that you've probably heard of, not a really big company, but it's been in, I think it's one of those ones that a lot of people that are in the market have heard of, and that's Simulations Plus, symbol SLP. Small company, $1.3 billion, even though it's had a hell of a run the last couple of years. This is a company that deals with drug discovery, AI, software for drug discovery. If you take a look at revenue last year, it had revenue fiscal year around $35 million. Expecting about $120 million, so in the next 4 or 5 years. profitable, looking to be even more profitable next couple of years. Tiny company, and it's high valuation, but anytime you have something that develops drug discovery using software, to me, that's fascinating. And again, this is a great looking chart. This is one of those companies where back in 2009, it was less than $1, and now it's at 71, almost $71 a share. But again, it was up in the high 70s, dropped to 65. Some of these pullbacks, this is why I'm looking at stocks that were near highs or at highs that pulled back, because you want to be buying into stocks that were doing well in the past, that pulled back for just no reason, just the fact that maybe it got ahead of itself, the market itself pulled back a bit, and that's when you want to get into these types of stocks. So that's one on the watch list here as well. Sticking with healthcare, here's a biotech, Fate Therapeutics, FATE. This is a stock that has had a big run as well, but rallied to an all-time high, then pulled back just like everything else. Had a big run yesterday, though. This one popped up during last night, but it had a big run already yesterday. But this is one where you look at potential future growth where it's not making any money now, really no revenue. But if they get everything approved, you're seeing potential revenue in next couple of years at $250,000. It's got a $4.3 billion market cap. It's one of those smaller mid cap, you guess call it biotechs, but has a big looking future out there, in my opinion. Shifting gears again, I'm all over the place here, but these are ones that popped up. I don't even know how to say it. It's a Chinese company. It's a lodging company. HT is a symbol. This is a company that is about a $12.6 billion company, but they're basically a franchised hotels, a hotel company in China, but big time growth here. Looking at growth of over 100% in revenue in the coming years. Earnings growth, bottom line, annual growth of 87%. You're really seeing domestic travel in China come back. It's actually above where it was last year at this time. So hotels there doing great with domestic travel. You're not seeing big international yet, but it has come back quite a bit. Their COVID problem, whether you believe it or not, is not that bad anymore. So China, to me, you want to be invested in domestic linked companies such as travel within the borders of China. And this is a great way to look at it. It's traded here in the United States, which I like. What else here is on my list? Let's look at one that's another overseas one, which when I tell you where this company's from, you're going to think I'm nuts. So you may say no right away, especially with the election, right, that just happened. But YANDEX, symbols YNDX. It's a Russian company, $21.6 billion company. It is basically the largest search engine in Russia. However, it's also a major player in autonomous vehicles, self-driving cars. It's one of the top 10 out there as far as technology, in my opinion. But again, I'm looking at growth here, where you look at growth at 175 billion rubles in 2019, going up to over 750 billion rubles in 2014. You're looking at just the growth is great. Top line growth, 27.5% annually. Bottom line growth, 21% annually. For a big company like this, it has great technology. You may be afraid because it says Russia on where it's based, but this stock has made people a lot of money. It's pulled back from a high. It looks great here. So it's one you might want to keep an eye on. And these are ways to diversify your portfolio. You've probably never heard of half of these stocks. Another one here I'll throw at you is a recent IPO, Bentley Systems, BSY, software company. Went public, rallied up to 33, pulled back to 29, rallied to 41, back to 33. It's at 37 now, up 5.5% today. Liking this company here as well. So really kind of all over. That symbol's BSY, if I didn't mention it. And one other one, this is a healthcare one, a recent IPO as well, BLI, Berkeley Lights. Again, IPO 50 to 90, pulled back to 70, starting to bounce off that support level. That's what I like to see. Stocks that are doing well, hitting highs and pulled back. This is in the diagnostic and research area. So I just gave you a bunch of stocks to think about. And again, not recommendations. I may never have any exposure through myself or Penn Financial or subscribers, but I'm just sharing this with you. These are the types of stocks that are coming up. High growth stocks that were doing well before the election, that pulled back before the election, that are bouncing off support, that I think return to their highs that they were at before that, and continue to move forward throughout 2021 and beyond. But In short, folks, basically, our plan always was it didn't matter who's going to become president. As far as the stock market, spending was going to happen, growth was going to continue. It didn't matter who was president. There's going to be more electric vehicles on the road in 10 years from now. There's going to be more solar being used 10 years from now. There's going to be more wind 10 years from now. Self-driving cars are going to be a real thing 10 years from now. AI is going to continue to move forward. 5G is not being stopped. Internet of Things will move forward. AR, VR, augmented reality, virtual reality are becoming huge, huge industries. We want to be invested in all these. And that's what I do here. We come up with the growth stocks for you. We do all this research, this top-down approach. And again, let's just get this election behind us and get back to what we know, what we're good at, and that is picking winning stocks. So thank you so much. And if you're investment opportunities, remember, if you're not one yet, you better get the hell out there and buy one. It's $99, investorplace.com/moneywire. You can buy it right there. We normally have an issue that goes out today. It's the first Thursday of every month, but it's going to go out next Tuesday because I wanted to wait till after the election. I still don't even know who the president is, and put together my thoughts. I'm going to do it over the weekend. I'm going to write it up. I'm going to get a breakdown. You're going to get new stock ideas. You got at least 3 to 4 new stock ideas coming. You need to get in and buy this. Investorplace.com/moneywire. Get over there right now and sign up. If you do, you will get the next issue Tuesday. The moment you sign up, you'll have access to all of our portfolios, all of our special reports, you name it. Access to our customer service team here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. You got it, baby. Everything you want. All right. Thank you so much. I hope everybody got some sleep. I'm freaking exhausted. You can probably see it in my eyes. We did videos all day. Tuesday, videos all day. Wednesday, late nights. You can't see, but we have a little patio out here. One of our copywriters bought a ping pong table, and we had a ping pong table set up last night until we played until dark. So it's been a long few days, but not a lot of protests, which is great because we don't want to see anything happen to this great country of ours. So hopefully we all come together, regardless of who wins. Let's just come together and have and grow this country, man. Let's make some money along the way and have some freaking fun. So it is Thursday, but I'll be back tomorrow with my regularly scheduled podcast. But I just want to do is post-election. I'm going to share some stock with you, show you what I'm doing. But if I look tired, I am, so don't take it out on me or on our producer. Maybe they could put like something over me if my eyes make it look better. Luckily, I had makeup on the last 2 days for video, so you wouldn't even know I was tired. But thank you so much to everybody who watches, who supports us through all this. Again, let's come together, get through this. Whoever wins, let's support it, move on, and let's make some damn money. All right. Again, go out there, hug somebody, smile, have fun, be safe. Number one, I'm Matt McCall, and that's been your Moneyline.
With Matt McCall. To find more information, head over to McCallMoneyWire.com. That's McCallMoneyWire.com.